So you want to main Wukong, the Monkey King. Well, you've come to the right place. Hi champions, in this video we'll be going through Wild Rift's Wukong in depth. We'll be going through Wukong's abilities and leveling order, spells, combos, builds, runes, counters, and general combat tips. And if you have any of your own Wukong tips, please share them in the comments down below. First, ask yourself, why do you want to main Wukong? Wukong's pros: he has clones that can distract and trick enemies. He has strong team fight, strong engagement, and he has a huge knock-up ultimate. Wukong's cons: most of the time you must fully commit to maximize your damage output, and he has no quick crowd control. Wukong has multiple roles. He is a fighter and a tank that deals physical damage. Wild Rift considers him to be of easy difficulty, and I personally find him easy to average. This is a Baron lane guide for Wukong, but you can also play him in the jungle. My name is Tids. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe and click the bell for everything Wild Rift. Let's get into Wukong's abilities. Wukong's passive, Crushing Blow. Wukong and his clones' auto attack and abilities apply this passive, Crushing Blow. This will happen for 5 seconds for a maximum of 5 stacks. Wukong and his clones deal 3% increased damage to the target. You can see the passive stacks around the enemy as shown here. Wukong's first ability, Golden Staff. This ability is a self buff, empowers his next attack to deal additional physical damage. It also heals Wukong. This ability also has a passive. When you use this ability, any auto attack after using this ability for 5 seconds will increase the range of his auto attack. So this auto attack is great for those enemies who are just out of reach. This ability has a cooldown of 8 seconds. Wukong's second ability, Warrior Trickster, becomes invisible for 1.5 seconds, leaving behind a clone for 3.5 seconds. This clone will attack nearby enemies for 50% damage. The clone will cast Cyclone, his ultimate, when he casts it. The clone does not move, it stays stationary. If there is no target close to your clone, it will not attack anything. It has to be close to a minion or enemy to attack. This ability is also a little tiny dash. From my testing, taking damage does not break your invisibility. It's great to use it as a distraction, defense, and escape. This ability has a cooldown of 16 seconds. Wukong's third ability, Nimbus Strike, dashes to a target while sending clones to 2 additional targets dealing damage. The clones strike the original target if there are no additional targets for 15% damage, gains 35% attack speed after dashing. Your third ability can only be used if it's on a target. This is his main engagement ability. This ability has a cooldown of 8 seconds. Wukong's ultimate, Cyclone, extends his staff and spins to gain 30% movement speed. Enemies hit for the first time are knocked up on cast. Cyclone can be recast once within 8 seconds, and they'll be knocked up again on the second cast. Your clones will also cast a spin of this ability and will also knock up enemies. This ability has a cooldown of 100 seconds. Next, the leveling order. For the first 5 levels, 3, 1, 2, 1, 5, or 3, 2, 1, 1, 5. Your third ability can be used to clear minions. Your second ability can also be used to help clear minions and get out safely. Here is how you can use it in a way where it will clear minions. I aim my third ability on the minions to get the damage off on multiple minions. This is very ideal in the jungle too. Then you want to prioritize maxing out his ultimate for decreased cooldowns and increased damage percentage of enemies' health, his first ability for decreased cooldowns, increased damage and self-heal, his third ability for increased attack speed and increased damage, his second ability for decreased cooldowns. For spells, Flash for mobility and Ignite for anti-heal and damage. If you're jungling, I would swap out Ignite for Smite and get the blue Smite upgrade when offered. Next, Wukong's combos. Before we get into combos, a few pointers. Your third ability can be used to bait out escapes. Since his clones do not chase enemies, it's important to try and get enemies to use any escapes or dashes they may have. Your second ability can be used as an escape and a distraction if needed. Remember that your second ability has a mini dash. Remember that your third ability can only be used if it's on a target minion, camp, or enemy champion. Remember that your first ability increases the range of your auto attack. You can use this to your advantage to hit just out of reach enemies. Remember that Wukong's clones only deal damage to enemies who are close to them. They will not chase the enemy. You can implement flash into these combos to close the gaps on enemies or engage if your abilities are down. Your third ability is your main engagement and chase. Try to have your clone on the enemy before ulting, as your clone will also ult with you as well, dealing more damage and more knockups. Remember that your ultimate can be casted again within 8 seconds. Now the combos. As an easy way to stack your passive with just autos, auto, 1, auto. Use your first ability right away to animation cancel your auto attack. Animation cancelling is basically cancelling out the animation that is unnecessary. This combo easily stacks your passive. Then we have 3, auto, 1, auto, 3, auto, 1, 2, ult. You can also spread out your ultimate by placing your clone in one place and using your ultimate in another. This is a strong team fight combo. 3, ult, 2 towards the other target, ult again. If you have any more combos, feel free to share them down below. Next, Wukong's builds. Builds are situational and it depends on the game you're in. Builds can also change depending on the current meta. My builds are based on what players are currently building in high level ranked. I recommend reading the bonuses of these items in your item builder. Youmuu's Ghost Blade for attack damage and ability haste, Black Cleaver for max health, attack damage and ability haste, Ionian Boots into Ionian Proto Belt for increased mobility, Guardian Angel for attack damage and armor. Guardian Angel is actually pretty cool because it revives you at death, which Wukong needs. Steric's Gauge for increased max health, Frozen Mallet for increased max health and attack damage. You can also swap out Steric's Gauge for Mortal Reminder if you need anti-heal to counter enemy healing. Radiant's Omen is another item you can use to counter marksman and AD champions and gives you more defense. Trinity Force is another item you can build as well for max health, attack damage, attack speed, max mana, and ability haste. It gives you an extra bonus movement speed. Next, Wukong's runes. For your main rune, Conqueror for stacking damage. For your secondary runes, Brutal for increased AD and penetration. Then Hunter Titan for health and tenacity, or Spirit Walker for health and slow resist. Then Sweet Tooth for honey fruit and gold, or Hunter Genius for cooldown reduction. Wukong's counters, slows and crowd control, preventing him from going in. Anything that stops him from using his combo. Enemy champions who know how to kite him. Enemies' escapes and dashes. General and combat tips. Remember that you are briefly invisible after using your second ability. You can run in the opposite direction or a direction that is less predictable when escaping. Your first ability works on towers. Using your third ability while an enemy is flashing, you will still dash to their location. However, you have to be pretty good at predicting when they're going to flash, if you're lucky, and it's just pretty rare overall. Your decoy can be used to block enemy attacks, such as Ashe Ultimate. Your third ability spreads out the damage, but if you want to maximize your damage on your target, try to use your third ability when there are no other enemies around. That is all for the Wukong guide. Please let me know in the comments down below which champion you would like to main next. Subscribe and click the bell for more champion guides. I'm planning to release one every day or one every 2 days. Like the video if you found this helpful. I have a lot of other guides such as Ahri, Darius, Blitzcrank, and Ashe, which I'll leave in the comments down below. I hope to see you again for the next one, champions. Bye!